Wow, all those lights, and I forgot to flip my screen. So today's video is going to be different compared to anything on my channel so far, but it's going to be pretty interesting because I'm really interested in keyboards. This is my first one. It's a Skyloong GK68s wireless and wired version. It's a one-piece frame. It doesn't sound the best right now. And that's what's really bothering me because I want it to sound good when I'm typing up my assignments. I want it to be satisfying, and it's nice, but it's not perfect, and I want it to be perfect. So that's going to be the journey we're on today. It currently has stock Gaterons, Gateron Oil Kings. That's what they sound like stock. I don't know if you hear it, but they have a little bit of scratch. We're going to open them up, see how well they're lubed. They're supposed to be pretty good, but I opened one up and I saw the spring was not lubed at all, so I'm going to check that out some more. And I'm going to do a little bit of mods inside of the board itself. Right now there's only 2 or 3 layers of masking tape and a little bit of cotton balls with the foam that comes with it, which is really thin. I'm going to try to make it sound creamy and sound really nice because that is the goal. So I got a couple tricks up my sleeve. We'll see if they work. It might be ridiculous, but it also might work. So here's an initial sound test with stock Gateron Oil Kings, masking tape, a little bit of cotton balls, and some foam. So if I'm being completely honest, that sound test actually sounded really good. Way better than what it does in real life. I mean, okay, it doesn't sound that bad, but I'm really picky and I really wanted it to be perfect. So anyways, that's what we're gonna go for. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna unscrew it. So we gotta take off a couple caps. The video will speed it up. Okay, so I finally got it out. It was pretty difficult to take out, but you can see here that there is a generous amount of silicone between the PCB and the plate. Pretty thick. It's not a centimeter, of course, but not too bad. And I made a mistake of actually taking out the screws that hold the PCB and plate together. So I'm going to go ahead and re-screw those because there's a good amount of foam in between. And this is the tape job from the bottom. It's kind of hard to take out because it was taped in here with the cotton and the foam. So yeah, we'll go ahead and rescrew that and then we'll get to the board filling. But first, need to take care of what's going to happen inside the board. So what I have here is we're going to put some extra cotton balls. We're going to rip them up. Kind of just rip them up like this. Make sure it's kind of stacked everywhere. I realized that I could put a lot more than I had put. So I'm just going to stack up the space bar. Alright, so I thought I was filming, but I actually wasn't. So for the lubing process for the Gaterons, I'm putting a little bit of lube on the springs. Well, a little bit. I'm putting a good amount. Put the brush inside, kind of squiggle that around. So I'm not going to put a crazy amount, just a little bit on the sides, of course, tiny bit on the inside. Put this down and then I'll do the housing. So the housing, it's really hard to see the actual lube because it's transparent, but I'm just going to add a little bit, not too much, because I don't want to mess it up and it sounds completely muted. But I'm just going to rub it around inside. That seems to be good. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. DaVinci is going to help me with that. All right, so here's the after sound test. All there has been done is adding more cotton balls, adding paper towel, lubing this and greasing the stabilizer, the space stabilizer only. So let's see how it sounds. right, so well, this side, the stabilizer sounds good. There's the smallest difference. There is the smallest difference. I could feel it in the typing. You could probably hear it in the sound. It does sound a little bit more dampened with the tape, the cotton balls, and the paper towel. So the D and the F sound the most similar. And what I'm going to do here is take out the switches, replace them with the lubed switches. Okay, so right now the F is the lubed. And D is not lubed. Okay, so lubed sounds way, way better. Unfortunately, a little bit, because I did not really want to lube every single switch, but there is going to be a third sound test. I'm going to get to lubing. See you guys in a bit. All right, so I ended up re-lubing all the Gateron Oil Kings because since you saw the earlier sound test, the lubed sounded way better than the non-lubed. So just be cautious about when you're buying the Gateron Oil King that you might have to re-lube it if the sound is not perfect. Now I know this is a wood board and it's more hollow. It's not a gasket mount, so the sound is more pingy. It's not the same as if it was a plastic board with a gasket mount. So maybe with that kind of board setup, you wouldn't need to re-lube them. But in my case, I had to re-lube them. And I took about 3 Peaky Blinders episodes, so about 2.5, 3 hours. It went by pretty well, and it was way worth it. So just before leaving you with the final sound test, I just want to say thanks. This is my first keyboard video on this channel, and I appreciate any like, subscribe, and comments. And yeah, so here's the awesome sound test of this finalized godlike board.